Hello and good morning on this beautiful day. We have the sun out, bright and pretty. Yay. It's actually starting to feel like spring now. So we're outside. Yay. Yeah, I just want to get into this Bible, sum everything up. I am a spiritual person. I love to talk about the Lord. It's just like food for me. So that's why I say, let's eat. Let's get this meal in real quick. I don't want to hold up too much of your time. So, me being a watcher, I'm very impatient when it comes to the big long introduction. So I get it, baby. Don't you worry. So today I just want to talk about Cain and Abel. So I'm going to read a verse from Genesis chapter 4. Okay, it's about Cain and Abel. So I'm going to speak on it and then we're going to get into the food of it all. Okay, so that's how we go. All right, that's how the flow of everything is going to go. Now it starts with Cain and Abel, so we can understand how he started with them. Okay, Cain and Abel. And Adam and Eve, his wife, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, okay, said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Okay. Now you know it was God said when he sent Adam and Eve out when he sent Adam and Eve out the garden, he said, you will now be tending to the land, okay? And he gave Cain a very specific job. Remember that. You was to be a tiller. He was to be a tiller of the ground. Okay, let's keep going. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of that fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his continuance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is this continuance fallen? If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Now, whatever's going on in Cain's head, you can clearly see he felt some kind of animosity, like how you got respect over his stuff, but I'm doing what you told my mother and father to do, and I gets no respect. Let's keep going. Cain murders Abel. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. The Lord places a curse upon Cain. See him and God, he's challenging God, upset with God. So, God is putting him on the timeout. God is giving him, he's being a father. Unfortunately, Cain may have went too far. The Lord places a curse upon Cain. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive your brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth now. All right. Sorry, it's a little windy out here. Let's go back. So his punishment is to be a fugitive and a vagabond upon the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Because he thought, he didn't really try to understand. I could see if he asked, at this point, you're really not supposed to ask God why. We all experience the answer from our whys, you know what I mean? But, you're still learning, But, he's like, why is my punishment so great? And he said, behold, thou hast driven me out of the day from the face of the earth, and from the face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Now I'm going to go a little bit more. The Lord also say, And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, which is on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she was conceived. Now he's then moved on, and his first child name is Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son, which is Enoch. And until Enoch was born Arad, and Arad begat Miguel, and Miguel begat Methuselah, and Methuselah begat Lamech. Okay, now Lamech, we need to keep. This is where the food comes in. We about to start digesting, okay? Because they gave us a few names, but we want to keep Lamech. Lamech. Y'all know what I mean. We're going to keep on to his name. Now, all of a sudden, it says Lamech took on to 2 wives. How do somebody just come out the blue when God has given you your other person, and yet Lamech just come out the blue and just have 2 wives? This is the beginning of when they have, and like men having 2 wives. So I took to that and I was like, how did he come about having 2 wives? You know what I mean? Let's keep digesting it, okay? Yeah, so the name of one was Adai, and the other name was Zillah. Okay, we got names, okay? And Adai bare Jabal and his father, like, okay, they're going into who bare who, Okay. Now, this is the part that gets me, okay? Lamech says in Genesis 4:23, and Lamech said unto his wives, Adai and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. I don't know why it came over me that it feels like Lamech may have killed his father. It doesn't go into all the details, but if you start to put one and one together, like, why did it go from talking about that, but then all of a sudden it says he has 2 wives, and then he's killed a man, and that's it. Now, I'm a type of person, I like to read between the lines, and I hate to go too far ahead, but I'm starting to think that Lamech killed his dad, which is Cain, and he took his wife. Because in the book, in the beginning, when it said he had a wife, they never said the wife's name. Maybe because they didn't want the character of Lamech to be, kind of like the reason why, whatever. I don't know. But I'm paying attention. I like to read, and I'm like, well, where'd you get 2 wives from, and who did you kill? Let's think about that. You know what I mean? And God said somebody was going to have to do it. And it's just, the book is just summing everything up. We just got to figure these things out for ourselves. So I personally believe, that's just my belief. Nobody said this to me. This is my opinion. You can think this is just for us to come together and figure some things out. Let's digest it and just see where we come with it. But I believe that Lamech killed his dad, took his wife, and now they're going to start tending to the land. Now, the thing that gets me about that was that right after that, Adam and Eve, they still was conceiving more kids. But let's just keep going a little bit. Let's just keep going. I read in also Genesis that, so let's go to Genesis 5:28. And Lamech lived 182 years and begat a son, and he called his name Noah. Let me say that again. And Lamech lived 182 years and begat a son, and he called his name Noah. We all know who Noah is, right? So I'm going to stop there, but I just wanted you to understand where I'm going with this, And he called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. And Lamech lived after he begat Noah 595 years, and begat sons and daughters. So I want to understand how Noah found grace in God's eyes, because at the end of the day, when we are trying to figure out why God is the way he is, and his hurt from seeing so much in the world going on, like, how do God still just like bear this, his own people, like, it's a lot into it, and I'm trying to put my words together about it, but it's a disheartening, it's sad. And if my belief comes to be about the fact that imagine you had to do that. Like, he killed his own father, took his wife, but had a son. But God is still working through these children, as you can see. And it says that Noah found grace in God's eyes, because it's like, after knowing all this happened, you wouldn't want to speak to your father like, how are you doing? So we're going to continue this, but I just wanted to put that in our spirit, and just see where we can go with that. And yeah, so this is my first video. I'm just trying some things out, but yeah, let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment where you want to go with this, how far you want to go with this. But yeah, this is what I like to do. I like to read and just give some spiritual food, and yeah, and just meet some people in the community and see where we can go with this. But yeah, that's it. That's all for today. But I want you to be great in all that you do. Bye bye.